I resisted this Harley Davidson mod for 30 plus years. Doesn't your Harley Davidson love you more when you get it a present? I've got the Street Glider present. He's gonna be happy. Is it a he? That means I'm riding a he. No! Today I'm gonna do a mod that I've resisted for 30 plus years. Have you ever just blindly resisted something, just gone along with the flow, resisted for the sake of it because that's what you've always done, and then bang, something comes along and makes you change your mind? That's what's happened here. You see, I love the sound of a Harley Davidson engine. In fact, I love it so much I spend money on hotting them up so that they sound even better. And then you're cruising around or hooning around, whatever you do on your Harley, it sounds absolutely fantastic. There's no better sound in the world. If you've seen my last few videos, I'm blessed, fortunate enough to have two Harley Davidsons now. Now the old Evo sounds fantastic, purrs along, sounds awesome when you turn it on, sounds awesome when you ride it. My poor neglected Street Glide, it's time to make some changes. He's got to catch up. Doesn't your Harley Davidson love you more when you get it a present? I've got the Street Glider present. He's going to be happy. Is it a he? That means I'm riding a he. No, it's a she. She's going to be happy. This is going to be awesome. So I'm going to put in a stereo, a Hog Tunes Wild Boar 400 watt amp, 2-speaker system. I could have got the 4-speaker system, which they've got as well. Unfortunately, I need every inch of space in the saddlebags. So I sort of compromised. I'm only getting 2 speakers. This is going to be good though. Now, my understanding is you can buy these anywhere in the world. Here in Australia, I got this from Rolly's Speed Shop. You can also get this from any Harley dealer, and I believe many other websites. Just use Mr. Google to search for Hog Tunes Wild Boar audio. Let's have a look to see what's inside. So that's the standard stereo. You can hear that, well, you might not be able to hear it that well on the GoPro. You can sort of turn it up to half volume before it starts to distort. So that's a high quality WAV file, and it's plugged directly into the bike. So what we'll do is we'll test it at 60 kilometers an hour, and we're going to test it at 100 kilometers an hour, and let's see what we can actually hear. Are you going to be happy? So this is standing still with the engine on. Once again, it's about half, the volume's only halfway up because it starts to distort. I really want one more try. Are you happy now? Are you happy? It's a shame to give So to get the stereo working properly, you've got to get the dealer to flash the system to 4 speakers, even though it's a 2-speaker system. I don't know why. It's $50, doesn't take long, pretty easy. Don't you love getting caught in the rain? Needles! Instructions, that's always good. All right, that looks like an amp. What do we got here? All right. And the beauty of this is it's all plug and play, so even for an amateur like me, it should be very easy to put in. Oh, warnings, important. Oh, look at this. Now we're talking. Look at these babies. Look at this. Now, look at those babies. They look good, don't they? Oh. Always check the bottom of the box because we've got something there. So that goes with the speakers. Wow, look at that. I'm pretty sure this is all plug and play, so that's going to be very easy to install. Now, I'm doing this for two simple reasons. The first one is I can get my fix of Harley Davidson's sound riding the Evo. And the second reason is, ever since I interviewed Justin, I think it was about a year ago, he had this stereo that absolutely blew everybody away. I'll put a clip in. That's loud. Hang on. we can. It's still super loud, and I'm a fair distance from the bike. So I'll use the Evo for the shorter trips now, the Street Glide for the longer trips, and on the longer trips, the stereo is very handy. Listen to some music, listen to some podcasts, listen to Eamon on Old Not Dead. Now, music is a fantastic way for people to experience emotion. You see, guys are taught to lock their emotions up. It starts way back at school. Most guys will understand this. If you show any emotion, if you get riled up at things, you're just going to get picked on. People think you're weak. People try and take advantage of that. And most guys are taught, or they learn, to suppress and to block emotion. Doesn't mean they don't feel it. Well, some guys don't feel it because the suppression of that emotion is so great, they literally numb out. I've done that myself. It's like a trauma response. Now, the interesting thing is people store that emotion. It's an energy that's stored in your body. You've got to get it out, because if you let it fester and sit inside your physical body, it creates all sorts of diseases. If you look at the cutting edge of science, they're just sort of discovering that now. It's not proven, but I bet my life on it. I've seen it a million times and I've helped a million people through that. One easy way to express emotion is through music. It evokes emotion in people and helps you get it out of your system. Listen to music. So I'm putting the console back on. I've just cleaned all the dust out from underneath it. And in the process, I have dropped the screw that holds the front of the console on. So I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to have to get a magnet and find it. It's in there somewhere. Good times, but it shouldn't be that hard to find. Taking the tank off so I can run the wires under here. Good advice would be empty out the petrol first. Right, happy days. I found the front screw for the tank console. Only took about half an hour to find, but it's better than going to Harley Heaven and asking for a new one, because who knows if they're even in stock. So cigarette lighter or power port, whatever you call it, comes out first. So I'm going to have to get a lot of this wiring out of the way. So I've taken a photo. So it's 1 hour later. This is a bit harder than I thought it was going to be. very difficult to get this speaker pod off. So I had to go to the shops and get a couple of longer extensions to be able to reach in under there. Otherwise I'm going to have to take all of this out to get to 3 bolts that are in there. But of course we're going to use music to get ourselves in the mood. I've been blasting the Suburbs in the car with 5 Finger Death Punch, Bad Company, just to get me in the mood. I've gone back inside. My wife's just discovered the Scorpions, pretty good band from the 80s. The house is rocking, the car's rocking, now I'm going to get the bike rocking. Don't laugh if you know a better way. Here's the solution to get these 2 bolts out, or Allen, whatever you call them. So the problem with it is the Allen head, the Allen head driver won't get in there properly, and it's a soft material, so you can't really get much purchase on it. I'm sort of doing this to try and get it in there tightly. In the end, I actually got a mallet and hammered them in, and that works, and you're able to turn them in case you get stuck. Finally, I reckon it's about 7 days later, I've got this little mother out. It's taken a bit of an extension, and I've threaded it in through there, and I've got this little baby out. Christmas is coming soon. I've only got 2 of these to go and 3 on the other side. I had to stop filming because I'm swearing a lot. Try not to swear. Finally got the 3rd bolt out. Absolute prick of a thing. In the end I had to get a long ball Allen key and hammer it into place, and then use a lot of force to sort of break the factory seal, or whatever you want to call it. And finally we've got a speaker pod. That's just one side. Right, so now we've just got to take these 4 screws out so the speaker comes out. I'm going to replace it with, the King Dick of speakers. Ho-ho! So, as per the instructions, the factory wires just push in. So that is the bottom. So that's better. That's still not right. That's better. There we go. So they give you screws that are longer than the factory screws, probably because this speaker frame is a bit thicker. So use their screws. So it's in. Right, so that speaker case box, whatever it's called, has got to be put back in. That's a bit of a job. And looking from the front, they look pretty good actually. They look better than the factory speakers. They haven't got Harley Davidson written on them. That's no big deal. They haven't got Hog Tunes written on them either. They're just plain, but they are very upmarket, expensive looking, and that's a bonus. They actually look a lot better. That's what's crazy about this. It's literally, it took me half a day to get those 3 bolts in there out. That's the best option. You hammer it. I had to take that off, hammer it in, and get some grip, and that's what does it. And then it's literally taking me 5 minutes to put all 3 back on. What a fucking waste of a day. All right, so that's one side done, and I'm hoping that was the worst of it. It's not really anyone's fault. Some of you might be able to do this really quick because you just know what you need to use. It's a lot of dicking around for me. So that side's done. I'm not going to bore you with this side. I will just turn the camera off, come back in 100 years when I've done that. Now we've got a problem. I thought this other side was going to take 5 minutes because I know how to do it now. It's a long day. In order to get to those very hard to get to bolts, you need like a long head Allen key, whatever they're called. The ball head is stuck in the bolt. It requires a lot of pressure to get it off, and it's actually snapped off, and now it's stuck in there. So that's going to be a major problem. One, because I can't get any of the other bolts out either, because I really need this long head, and the shops are closed. So I think it's about 5 o'clock and it's a Sunday. So I'll try and figure out something else. Otherwise we're going to have to resume first thing in the morning after I buy some more tools. Right, it's the year 2064. That's how long it's taken to get this bolt out. And as you can see, the ball end has broken in here. I'm blaming it solely on Mr. Davidson for not supervising his factories properly and saying, listen, you Malacas, this is in an awkward spot. Eamon wants to get this out one day, put it somewhere else. Now for a desk jockey, this is like climbing Mount Everest. I got the third bolt on the other side out. Yay! I can't really get the ball end out of the other bolt. I need a drill press or something because the drill's going everywhere. And I'm guessing that it's pretty hard steel that it's made of, even though it broke. So I'll just go and buy another one. I could probably put it back in like that, but then either myself one day or somebody else who gets his bike is going to have to go through all this pain, and I wouldn't do that to them. So I'll do it properly. All right, so that looks good. The speakers look fantastic. Got both speakers in. But of course, I'm gonna have to continue tomorrow because I've got to get a few more bolts in, or right in there. And that's the bolt I was talking about before. As the song goes, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. Actually, it's nearly lunchtime. I've tried to go and get that bolt. Got to get it from interstate, and the local bolt shops are closed because tomorrow's a public holiday. Yesterday was the weekend. So I'm going to have to put this back in, unfortunately, and I think I'll put it in an easy to reach spot. So if I have to do it again, or the next person has to do the same thing, they won't swear and curse at me. Of course, most of the morning was spent looking for a long ball head socket hex set, or to replace the one that I broke. Went to about 5 shops, none of them had it. Looks like it's a bit of a specialty item, so I'm gonna have to just try and fit a socket in there. Don't you love it? It took forever to get those 3 bolts on each side out. It takes like literally 60 seconds to put the 3 back in and tighten them. Right, the amplifier. Check this baby out. So it's going to sit on here and fit in that little space behind me. Better read the instructions for this because I'm no expert. So everything seems to be labelled pretty well. Main input supposedly goes into the hole that says input. I can't even remember where all these wires go. I'll put those over there. So then green goes into here. And, whoops. So we've got a power cable. Looks pretty powerful, pretty beefy. And that is going to go through here and along the bike. And that is probably going to plug into that because that looks like power. Let's just do that. Stereo, oi. Alright, so I've got something wrong. That was plugged into here, but that is for looking at the wiring diagram. That's for later on, if you want to add more power. So that probably goes in here, because that will be the output, which will then go to that, which is connected to, God knows, yeah, well, that's coming out of the speaker box, so that's the output, so you would think that's right. Alright, so let's give it a try. Right, that works. Sound, 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 come on baby. Sound. Static. Yeah, that means it's going to work because I can hear things coming out of the speakers. Yep, both of them.
Personalise your Christmas decor with quality.
It works! You're going to be happy with that. It works! That wasn't even full bore. Wait till I test this out properly. I better put the bike back together. Fairings on, too easy to even show. That should make the speakers sound even better because I think that should make the speakers sound better, I'm not sure. Always empty the tank of petrol. Ah, it's heavy. Are you any good unless you leave over parts and can't remember where they went? I think this is just lying around on the back guard. I think this went onto the plastic wire holder on the spine of the bike to hold some cables on. So probably not important. Now, probably more important than the stereo, does the bike actually start? Old, not dead. Right, so the job's done. It's very rewarding when you do this type of thing yourself. I think it builds confidence. So for all you guys who have thought about it, give it a go because I'm no expert at all. It's just one step at a time. So this job was very basic in my opinion. If I didn't get stuck on accessing those bolts, wouldn't have taken that long at all. In the end, it took about 9 hours or something. And but I had a lot of hiccups. Anyone can do it, in my opinion. The instructions were really easy. You saw when I stuffed up the wiring, like it's pretty obvious because there's a wire going out with nothing attached to it. So before you put things back together, you have a look and it's obvious that there's something coming in, there's going to be something going out in order to produce sound. So you look at the wiring diagram, change it to the way it's supposed to be. Very simple stuff. I've probably saved myself, I don't know how much the shop would charge to do this, maybe $500, I don't know, $800, I've got no idea. So I've saved myself a bit of cash. You learn a lot doing this. You become a lot closer to your bike. I'll still... When you'll fall in love with your bike, now you'll love your bike more because you'll be closer to it because you're doing things. And it's fun. Now we've got to go for a ride and test this baby out.
Are you happy? You're a freak when you get too near. Are you happy? Are you happy? Like a ghost in the night, you're leaving me without goodbye. Are you happy?
is loud, it sounds fantastic. I've tried it at all speeds, and you've got to remember this bike is seriously loud, so if I can hear it over the engine and hear it clearly over the engine, it's got to be good.
Walk in the street and nobody can hear you go. Are you happy? No, 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 you feel 'cause you're a freak when you get too near. Are you happy? As it goes in the night,
You can actually hear it quite clearly. I can sing along no problem.
are you happy? It's a shame to give up. I really want one more try.
I don't know if you can hear this on camera, but I can hear it very, very clearly. So what am I? I'm about, gee, maybe 50 meters away now. Two big factory blocks. Can still hear it very clearly. And the music, and it's a quiet song now. I can still hear it beautifully. This is gonna, the neighbours are gonna love me. How cool is that? I'm so far away. I gotta limp back. Can hear it no problem at all. It's pretty amazing, really. It's
Don't wanna waste time. I'll never be this young. I'll never be this young again. Don't wanna chase highs.
I haven't even played with the settings, so maybe I can make it sound even better if I tinker with it. That's straight out of the box. I don't know how the camera picks this up, but I can hear it so well. I'm actually shouting because it's so loud. Pretty good. Easy install, great quality, highly recommend.
Won't you come up